I'm a rambler, I'm a gambler, I'm a long way from home. And if you don't like me, then leave me alone. I'll eat when I'm hungry, I'll drink when I'm dry. And if moonshine don't kill me, I'll live till I die. This place has long been known as a place between two worlds. Ours and that of the spirits. A liminal place where things can cross over, wander, or be trapped. Not quite here nor there. A purgatory where lost souls may still be present, where ghosts of this ruin's past may still be looking for a way out. But being back here makes me feel like I am being haunted by ghosts of my own past. Past loves, friends, things that I've done that I shouldn't have, and other things that I probably should have done, but failed to do. Not unlike those you'll meet tonight. Souls haunted and tormented by their own dark desires, their own dark urges, their own uncertainty and struggles. It's time to find out who you'll meet first.
Do as thou wilt, or do as you will. It's our club's motto, the mantra that those who come here live by. But what does it mean? Well, it depends largely on each individual. I mean, to most, it's simply an excuse to act in any way you wish. Drinking, gambling, whoring, all manner of debauchery. It all goes on inside these walls. It's a place to let loose and give in to your more primal instincts. Sounds fun, doesn't it? Oh, and it can be. It can be. But that's not all that goes on here. You see, there are those whose innermost desires extend far beyond a few too many drinks and a game of cards. They take this motto as a challenge to the big man himself, or rebellion against the countless rules that, as they see it, they have been subjected to by his almighty judgment. No, they'd be bigger fans of a less pious gentleman, to put it lightly. Satan, the Dark Lord, Lucifer, the devil himself. Now those that follow this path, they tend to be struggling with dark parts of themselves. Buried deep inside, urges and longings that are hungry for an outlet, for an escape, for a way out. Dark dealings have gone on inside this building. Things too dark to speak of. For the most part, I try to avoid the black masses, the rituals, the sacrifices. I stick to me cards. But you can't really avoid it all, can you? You see, the stories and the cultures are deeply embedded into this place, this club. And for the most part, I don't mind a lot of it, you know? The toasts, the cloak and horns, the seat left free for your man. Now there are those who claim they met him before in the club. They say they sat with him right in this room. I'm sure you're all familiar with the story of the stranger who came in from the storm. A stranger who was really no stranger at all. I mean, it's been told countless times before. It's always slightly different, but the main aspects remain the same. A rough, dark night. An unknown traveller enters to take shelter. He's seated and begins to play cards with his hosts. A fumble, a drop card, and the reveal of cloven hooves beneath the table where the stranger's legs should be. The men, they recoil in terror as the Dark Lord, their Dark Lord, rises from the table and shoots through the ceiling in a ball of red flame, leaving nothing but horror, scorch marks in his wake. It's not a bad story, to be fair. Now, those that have yet to be blessed with a chance meeting with him, they wish to be so deeply. And others still. Now, they act like they want to meet him, but it's all a facade. I mean, they talk a big game and they play along with the darker aspects of this little organisation, but really, I mean, they just come here to get drunk and play cards away from the public eye. Now me? I'm somewhere in between, I suppose. I mean, the stories of them, they intrigue me. But I've got a bit of common sense, or a bit of luck. No, I haven't crossed paths with them yet, and to be perfectly honest with you, I'm okay with that. It's a risk that I would rather not take. But by knowing about these stories, and believing in them, even partly, it means that we all take a risk, a chance when we climb that hill. The same hill you've just climbed. You've taken that chance, that risk, that gamble. For what? To win some money? Yeah, sure. Or to lose some. Or maybe to lose a whole lot more than that. But seeing as you're here anyways, might as well have a game. Although, I have been trying not to do this so much anymore. The card playing, the gambling. I used to have all the luck in the world. I used to be unfazed by the dangers, the risks I took. But being here, spending so much time here, it's taken its toll. It's made me feel tired, you know? Weary. Not like my old self. Not as strong. Not as confident. Sometimes I feel like a ghost of him, you know? Like an outline. But none of the same contents. He is the one that's haunting me. As I talk to you now, I see him. An unknown traveller. He enters through the doorway to take shelter from a storm that is raging outside. And he sits opposite me. Right where you are sitting now. There's something familiar about him, you know? In an unsettling kind of way, his attitude, his demeanour, his energy. And then I realise it's this old version of myself. And he smiles at me. Not friendly like, but like he's mocking me, you know, smug, with this air of superiority, like he thinks he's better than I am. And he reaches into his pocket and he pulls out a deck of cards. And now we're in our own game. A game for my soul. And I look at the cards that I've been dealt and I worry. They're not as good as the cards I was dealt before, you know? Back then. Back when I was him. I remember the kings and the aces that I used to have up my sleeve, cards that I am sure my adversary is holding now. I remember they used to make me feel like I could deal with anything, no matter how bad it got. But now, all I can do is sit here opposite this smug spectre and try to bluff my way through this round, feeling inferior in the face of me former self. And you know, he was never afraid or anxious. He'd never fold in the face of stress or pressure. No, he was confident, capable, and happy. And still, with this smug smile, he sits there taking me for everything I've got. You know, I can feel myself growing weaker as he went round after round and the chips on my side of the table start to dwindle. He's almost going stronger. The more I wane, this image of who I used to be staring opposite me. I struggle to regain my composure as he fumbles and drops his cards, one slip in his perfect demeanour. And as I bend down to pick them up, I see it. His cards are no better than mine. If anything, they're probably worse. And so I glance beneath the table and I see a cloven hoof. But it doesn't belong to Lucifer, no, it belongs to a different demon. The demon of nostalgia. And once I realise this, it dawns on me. This image that I see opposite me, it's not accurate. You know, the cards that I was dealt then, they're no better than the cards I've been dealt now. I wasn't perfect. I wasn't better off or any better equipped to deal with what the world had to throw at me. No, I have just let nostalgia warp my view of the past. I've allowed it to feed this demon inside of me, allowed it to grow and corrode me from the inside out. You see, the people here, they desire immortality. They want to be young and reckless forever. And that has corrupted me. And once I see through this impish image to the truth, well, that smug smile, it disappears from my doppelganger's face and he erupts into a ball of fire and vanishes through a hole in the ceiling. But this demon doesn't leave a sense of horror in his wake, no. He leaves me with this sense of clarity. That wasn't the old me. Not really. That was just what I've allowed nostalgia to do to me. To warp my view of how perfect things were. To worsen what I have in front of me now. And don't get me wrong, nostalgia, it can be a wonderful thing. Reminiscing on old, fond memories. But it can be dangerous. Manipulative. See, through a desire to look back on a happier past. Or on the other side of the coin, hope for something better in the future. The truth of things can be obscured. And we might miss all the good that we have in front of us here and now. So I'm done playing this game. I am done letting the demons of longing and nostalgia grasp me and try to make me fold. I'm going to start taking every hand I'm dealt and face it, like I always have. Because we can't choose the cards we're given. It's just the luck of the draw. It's never been better or worse, it just is. It's about how we choose to play those cards that matters. We bluff, we call, or we go all in. So I've spent too long letting myself feel stuck in this place. Letting my fear and my insecurities keep me trapped here. Being tempted to give in to the weakness that lies inside me. No. It's time to leave this dark room. Do as thou wilt. And I will. I'll be better than this. Better than him. Than I used to be. I will find a way out. And you should too.
I think we've all felt somewhat trapped in recent times, in between a happier past and a better future. And that's where the devils of longing and nostalgia can grasp us, play with us, try to destroy us. Recently, I have felt that there is a raging sea within me. Not calm and serene waters, but tumultuous and unsettled. I sometimes feel that my mind is like a ship that has been cut loose from the harbour, set adrift, untethered, with no direction home. Now and again, the waves subside, and the sky can be seen above the roaring waters. A hope appears. A hope that this will last long enough for me to get my bearings and set course for what I want. But this never lasts long. The waves rise up again, and I am tossed back into the uncertainty, back into the not knowing what I want, not knowing how to get it, not knowing the path. But I think I'm starting to understand that there will always be storms that we have to fight through. I know that these storms will rise up in front of me again. And like a starling journeying towards a dark expanse of clouds, I know that what lies ahead of me is daunting. But I will face it with joy, not fear in my heart. Joy at the unknown. Joy at the challenge. But how will you face your next challenge?
Here we are, surrounded by darkness. Darkness can be comforting. The kind of darkness you turn over in to be greeted by the warm embrace of a lover. The comforting darkness that envelops you as you turn out the light in your bedchamber before peaceful sleep. But not this kind of darkness. This thick, heavy darkness that you can almost feel the weight of around you. No, we can sense that bad things have happened in this darkness. In this room that we now share. Is that all we'll share? Maybe a drink? Scalvine. That's what we drink here. Whiskey mixed with butter. A potent solution to numb us so that we can carry out dark deeds, as the more civilized would say. Do you ever feel that desire to numb yourself? To lose yourself? Another pint, another drag. To give yourself an escape, an excuse to do whatever you please, an escape from the things around you, the things inside of you, the devils in you that you're repressing, trapping. You ever feel it'd be better to just let them out? Just let it all go, see what happens. Go on then. Take it. I'll join you. You're afraid. Afraid you'll wake up with regret tomorrow. Or is it a deeper fear? One that you dare not linger on for too long, lest you find it to be what you're truly worried about. A fear that you'll secretly be glad. Glad to destroy the things that you've worked so hard to build. Friendships, relationships, reputations. Glad to be rid of them. Rid of the weight of the responsibilities that came with them. It all became too much, so you're more than happy to tear it all down and start again. You know, we can only handle so much order before we crave chaos once again. I can see you craving it. Just like me. I wager we have more in common than you think. I do love a good wager. I've won many in my lifetime. Now, I once bet that I could ride my father's horse out his house, through the window, down to the street 32 feet below, for 12,000 pounds. It was glorious. The horse did unfortunately die from the fall. It was a shame. I did love that horse. Would I do it again? Absolutely. I came out entirely unscathed and made my mark, didn't I? We only have a limited amount of time on this earth. Immortality, that's what I'm after. And I think I'm on my way to achieving it. What? You feel sorry for the beast? You think I'm selfish, cruel even. Of course you do, because you think yourselves to be honorable, moral, and good, don't you? But is it really honorable to deny yourself something you desire, to avoid situations that might get you into trouble for the sake of what others may think of you? Or is it just foolish? Life will take plenty of you. Watch you while you struggle. So what sense is there in denying yourself a bit of joy, a bit of happiness when it presents itself? All for the sake of what? Morality, pride, honor? Those are all just words to keep us in check, to keep us afraid. Do as you will, I say. Fight, fuck, drink, take, raise hell. There's no way of knowing what awaits us on the other side of this void. So we may as well make the most of what we see around us now. And believe me, there's no way of doing that if you want to be honorable and moral. More like impotent and weak. And you can't tell me that you've never had the urge to just let it all go. See what happens. You're afraid. Afraid to lose everything. But what would you gain? You've all thought about it. Can it last? We're told no. Told that that kind of debaucherous life is wrong and unsustainable. But that's just another deterrent. Another way to keep us afraid. If these feelings are meant to be ignored, why do they feel so ingrained in us? So deep inside of us? Don't you ever feel like you're closer to letting it all go than not? That feeling in your heart, that itch, the sense that the smallest push could just come along and break down the walls of defense around your soul, and then you're free, released. But instead you hold on. You deny that sense that feels so natural, and you fight against your body to tighten that grip around yourself. But all you're really doing is letting fear rule you. Fear of the unknown. Fear that you'll hurt someone you care about. Fear that you'll make a choice you can't come back from. I may be selfish, but at least I don't pretend. At least I don't put on a facade, hide behind a mask of fear. At least I'm not afraid of what I am. So don't be afraid anymore. Let the fear go. Give over to it. This seat here is saved for him. We always save a seat for him. Always hopeful that he'll join us. I think tonight could be the night that he does. I'll finally get to meet him. Take my place alongside him. And you should too. Don't let fear stop you from that. Spend the rest of eternity giving in to your desires. No? Then go! Go, you cowards! Go! Tonight is my opportunity, and I will make the most of it. I will no longer give in to fear. I will take my seat alongside him, and I'll be remembered forever. I'll live on. Who will remember you? No one. Go!
Ever feel like you just can't let something go? No matter how much you want to. No matter how much you need to continue on with your life. No matter how much you know it's bad for you to hold on to. It just won't leave you. It just won't cease. Ever think that maybe that means it's something important? Something worth holding on to? Or are you just going crazy? Or is it both? Ever feel like sometimes it feels a bit nice to go crazy? Sometimes I do. Sometimes.
Are you here to test me? Or to torture me further? You're not the bucks that brought me here. Did they drag you in here too? Come in, join me. My apologies for my rudeness. I mistook you for the members of this club. There's no need to be afraid of me. Well, at least not yet. I may be the newest initiate to this place. That is, if I can survive whatever trials they have in store for me. I only wanted to see what went on here, to finally know what caused the screams you can hear from here late at night. I didn't think I'd get caught, but before I knew it, they had surrounded me, laughing, grabbing me and binding me, dragging me in here. And then they left me to wait. To wait and listen to the noises below. The noises of the screams, the laughter, the raised voices, the pounding. They'll be back for me soon. Now, I wait. And I wonder. And I imagine what they're doing. What they'll do to me. Would you be so kind as to untie me? I won't do you any harm. These bindings are starting to itch. Thank you ever so much. I don't know how much longer I could have lasted with those on. I've heard stories of this place. The dark rituals, the sacrifices in the name of Satan himself. They say that as part of their black masses, they capture and cage dozens of black cats. Each one is impaled on a spit and roasted above a fire, hissing and screaming until it perishes. After this offering is complete, demonic spirits in the form of warped black cats appear. And after 4 days of this torture and death, the Dark Lord himself appears in the form of a monstrous black cat with fiery eyes, and he bestows gifts upon his worshippers. I took these tales as exaggerated and fed by nothing more than superstition. Until I saw it myself. I awoke one night in my bed from the noise of a creature from this lodge screeching. At first I was paralyzed with fear. But then I became overcome with this desire to know what was going on. So I snuck out, across the forest and over the hill, through the darkness, towards the hideous noises. And what I witnessed that night would stay with me forever. A creature wreathed in orange flames burst through the doors of this lodge and disappeared into the forest. It was one of the cats that they had trapped. I could hear it screeching long after I could no longer see the orange light disappear through the trees. Those noises will haunt me forever. I spoke to about this place told me, they warned me not to go back here. Told me that it was dangerous. Dangerous to associate with such unnatural goings-on. But I couldn't stay away. There's something about this place. Something dark. It draws you to it. It intrigues me. All of it. I felt myself grow this deep desire to know more. Why? I don't know. But you felt it too. It's drawn you here as well. Some dark part of you is attracted to this place, just like me. I think I want to feel as though I have a purpose in this life beyond sowing seeds and feeding animals. The members of this club have a purpose, something that drives them as dark as it may be. They believe they are fated to serve him, their dark lord. A part of me wants that. That feeling of security in what I should do with my life. A moment where everything becomes clear, where there's a sign from above or maybe below that tells me what to do. That way, I can distance myself from any sort of responsibility if it all goes wrong. Or better yet, stop being so conflicted about the choices that I make that it paralyzes me. Let someone else choose for me. That's what I thought I'd find here tonight. A way to rid myself of the uncertainty that's been plaguing me for so long. But now I'm not so sure. I think I may have made a mistake. I was so sure that this is what I needed. I was so sure that this would save me, that this was the right choice. But now that uncertainty is back to haunt me again. Uncertainty in the certainty you thought you had found. It's always there. No matter how sure you may feel about something, it's still there, a layer of uncertainty right in the cracks of your peace. Do you let this feeling grow? Making the cracks bigger and bigger until you can no longer, until it shatters you, until it shatters any stability that you've found? Or do you plaster over them? Replace the broken stones with stronger ones? Hoping that this plaster will cover your doubts, make them fade away, hoping that choosing this plaster of optimism is the right force to use. But how do we know? But how do we know that this anxiety, this worry isn't a part of some instinctive, primal self-defense mechanism? that it's not something that we should push away or ignore or cover over? Is it something that is keeping us safe? Or is it a trick that your mind is playing on you? One that, if you heed and listen to, will only cause your destruction. Do we ever know? Or are we destined to be caught between, stuck? This uncertainty surrounds me so often that sometimes I feel like the only option is to get comfortable with it. Its constant presence. The periods of time when comfort and stability are the norm are shrinking in the face of growing and dominating uncertainty. So maybe I need to stop fighting it. Maybe I need to stop running from it through the sludge of worry that slows me down and tries to paralyze me. And instead, turn, face it, move towards it. Let it take me, engulf me. That's why I came here tonight. This place has always terrified me. It represents the unknown, the unknowable. But I'm done pretending I know any of the answers. It's time I let this uncertainty surround me, become a part of me. Only then will I be able to find any peace. Well, best be off with you. I don't think they'd be very happy if they found I've made friends. Go on. I'll be all right. Go on.
You see a mural of vibrant colours down a narrow laneway. A doorway, usually locked, now appears to be open. You want to step through the small iron door. Explore it. Reach it. See the colours up close. See what lies on the other side. But you're afraid. Afraid there's no other side to get to. You second guess. You walk by. You change your mind. You steel yourself. And without warning, you turn and stride through the doorway and down the laneway. Towards the mural. Towards the light. Towards the colour. You reach it and are underwhelmed. It's just a wall. And beyond it, just a dark tunnel leading nowhere. Disappointing? Not what your heart desired, needed. Dejected, you turn back, stride back towards the doorway. Dejection turning to anger. Anger at yourself. Anger at the only option presenting itself to you, going back to the old life that you had out there. You pass another lost soul. Drawn in here by the same dark desires. Standing still. Unsure what to do. Stuck between two worlds. You don't offer help. You're too consumed by your own problems, too self-conscious. You walk by. You leave them. The doorway gets closer. You can hear the noises of the world out there get louder. You see people walk by the entrance to this place, oblivious, uninterested. A gust of wind blows the black iron door shut. You are just out of reach, forced to watch it happen, helplessly. You finally reach it, and when you do, you find that it's locked. A single huff of amusement bursts from you. Your fear was right. Your initial instinct. You should have listened. Almost comical. Regret if you didn't take the chance. Regret now that you did. And now you're stuck. Alone in the dark. No way out. Can you find a way to open that door again? And is that even what you really want? Or do you want that door to be closed forever? Maybe you need to find a new path out. But what's the next path you'll choose?